All right, so are you ready to dive into the world of Chinese tech giants?
I'm ready.
Okay, because we're talking Alibaba,
Oh,
Tencent, ByteDance, the whole crew.
those are the big ones?
They're the big ones, and they are going global.
Yeah.
And we're going to figure out how.
Absolutely.
So we're looking at research from the DigiSilk project, specifically a blog post by Hailu Mao, who looked at a whole decade
Wow.
of investment data,
A decade.
trying to understand what these companies are doing outside of China.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, these companies are already powerhouses
Oh, yeah.
in China, and now they're looking at the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's almost like they've conquered their own market.
Right.
And now they're like, all right, where else can we go?
Exactly. And we're talking billions
Millions
of dollars
Yeah.
flowing into ventures all over the globe.
It's really incredible. So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
How much are they investing outside of China? What are we even talking about here?
Well, it's interesting because they all have different appetites
Okay.
for risk.
Oh, I like that.
You know, Tencent is really leading the charge.
Okay.
They're putting a full 21%
Wow.
of their investments into international ventures.
It's almost a quarter.
Yeah, it's significant.
That's a big chunk.
It is. Then you have Alibaba. They're at a respectable 16%.
It's still a big chunk, but yeah,
Still a good amount.
not as aggressive as Tencent.
Right. And then you have ByteDance.
Okay.
And this is the surprising one.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Only 4%.
because you think with TikTok, I mean, they're already global.
Exactly. You'd think they'd be riding that wave.
Right, you would think that they would be all over this.
So it's a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, what do you think is going on there?
Well, there could be a few things at play.
Okay.
You know, Tencent with their gaming portfolio.
Oh, right, they have League of Legends and PUBG.
Exactly. Those games are massive worldwide.
So they probably see a lot of opportunity there.
Right. They probably feel like it's easier to scale those globally.
Makes sense. And Alibaba, they've got the e-commerce model.
Yeah, Alibaba's really good at that.
And that translates pretty well across borders.
It does. People like to shop everywhere.
Yeah, but ByteDance, it's different.
It is.
They're all about algorithms and content.
Right. And that can be tricky
Oh, yeah, I bet.
to adapt across different cultures and political landscapes.
So a hit game, that's
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah, it can travel.
A hit algorithm.
Oh, that's a whole different beast.
That's got to be so much harder.
It is. It's much more nuanced.
All right, so we've got this snapshot of how much they're investing,
Right.
but how has this whole landscape changed over time?
So since 2014, we've seen a steady increase in outbound investments for all three companies.
Outbound meaning outside of China?
Correct. Those made outside of China.
Okay, got it.
But then something interesting happens in 2021.
What's that?
There's this spike in internal investments.
Why would that be?
Well, remember, that's when the Chinese government started tightening regulations.
Oh, right. They were cracking down on a lot of things.
Exactly. They clamped down on overseas listings and really encouraged.
To tech growth.
Right. They wanted to build up their own ecosystem.
So a lot of these companies, they kind of shifted their focus back home.
It seems that way.
Interesting. But then
But then,
something else happens with Tencent in 2022 and 2023.
you're right. Their outbound investments surged.
Okay, so they were going against the grain
It seems like.
while everybody else was kind of pulling back.
Yeah, while others were focusing on the domestic market.
Tencent was like, all right, let's go global.
It's like they saw an opportunity amidst all the changes.
Wow, so what's driving this? What are they after?
Well, their sector-specific focus plays a big role.
Okay, so what do you mean by that?
Well, let's look at Alibaba, for example.
Okay.
They're really diversifying
That.
across e-commerce and services.
Yeah, makes sense.
They have 106
106.
overseas enterprises.
Wow.
So they're spreading their bets.
They're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Tencent, on the other hand, they're sticking with what they know.
They are.
Entertainment, media, and gaming.
Those are their bread and butter.
Makes sense, given their track record.
Absolutely.
And ByteDance, even though they're only invested in 8 companies internationally,
Yeah, there's still small players on the global stage.
they're keeping that same focus.
Yeah. Entertainment and media, that's their thing.
Okay, but there's this curveball.
Oh, tell me about it.
All 3 of them are suddenly interested in finance,
Yeah, that's a bit unexpected.
especially outside of China.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Well, didn't we talk about those tighter regulations on internet finance in China?
Oh, yeah. Those are definitely a factor.
So maybe they're looking for friendlier shores.
Exactly. Greener pastures for their financial ambitions.
Okay, so they're seeking these greener pastures,
Right.
but they're not just going anywhere.
No, they're being very strategic.
They're picking and choosing.
Absolutely.
So where are they going? Where are these prime locations?
Well, It's not too surprising. Asia, North America, and Europe are the hotspots.
Makes sense.
They account for 94%
Wow.
of their combined investments.
So basically everybody's going there.
Pretty much.
What about the U.S.?
Oh, the U.S. is a prime target.
Yeah.
Mature tech scene.
Yeah.
Huge consumer base.
It's the land of opportunity.
It is, and India is also attracting a lot of attention.
Yeah, India's digital economy is exploding right now.
It's a market with huge potential.
It's definitely one to watch.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm curious about something.
Okay.
China's Belt and Road Initiative,
Ah, yes, the BRI.
it's all about expanding their global influence, you'd think.
You would.
That would play a role in where these companies are investing.
It's logical to assume that.
Wait.
But the data tells a different story.
Really?
Of the top 5 recipient countries.
Okay.
For these investments,
Yeah.
only Singapore
Only Singapore.
was part of the BRI.
Wow, so it seems like national policy isn't the main driver here.
It's not the only factor, that's for sure.
So these companies, they're not just following the party line.
No, they're making strategic decisions based on what they see as the best opportunities.
They're doing their own analysis.
Exactly. They're weighing the risks and the rewards.
So we've got these 3 titans,
Yeah,
Alibaba, Tencent, ByteDance.
the big 3.
They're all making moves on the global stage.
They are.
But how are they interacting with each other?
That's the million-dollar question.
Are they teaming up or are they competing?
It's a bit of both, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which makes things even more interesting.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Well, for starters, Alibaba and Tencent,
Yeah.
they've only co-invested in 10 companies
10 out of how many?
out of hundreds of investments.
Wow, so they're not exactly joining forces?
Not really. It suggests they're mostly charting their own courses.
So more like a friendly rivalry then.
Well, I don't know about friendly.
Okay.
Let's look at the Korean entertainment industry.
I'm listening.
Tencent has backed YG Entertainment.
Oh, wow, the home of Blackpink.
Exactly. And Alibaba,
What did they do?
they invested in their rival,
Who's that?
SM Entertainment.
The company with EXO and Red Velvet.
You gotta talk about a K-pop showdown.
With Chinese characteristics.
Exactly.
I love it. So this competition is real.
Oh, it's very real.
Are there any other battlegrounds we should be watching?
Oh, absolutely. Southeast Asia's e-commerce landscape is another hotbed.
Okay, tell me more.
Alibaba owns Lazada,
Oh, yeah. A major player.
and Tencent is backing Shopee.
They're fierce competitors.
It's a battle for the hearts and wallets of Southeast Asian consumers.
billions of dollars at stake.
It's high-stakes poker in the digital world.
So Southeast Asia,
Yeah,
it's like this microcosm
it is.
of this whole global tech showdown.
It's the perfect place to focus our deep dive.
A deep dive within a deep dive.
Exactly.
All right, I'm ready. Let's unpack it.
Let's do it. Southeast Asia is a fascinating case study. Southeast Asia is a fascinating place right now. I mean, it's got this
Yeah.
booming digital economy,
It really does.
young, tech-savvy population. I mean, it's
Prime target.
a prime target for these Chinese tech giants.
It's like the Wild West, but with algorithms and e-commerce platforms instead of saloons and cowboys.
Very good analogy. Very good.
I try.
And in this digital gold rush, it's fascinating to watch Alibaba and Tencent
Yeah.
stake their claims.
Right, we were talking about Lazada and Shopee before.
Right.
Alibaba versus Tencent in the e-commerce arena.
Head to head.
But there's another interesting case study here. GoTo,
Oh, yes. Go-to.
the Indonesian tech giant,
Huge company.
formed from the merger of Gojek and Tokopedia.
Right.
Now they've actually received backing from both Alibaba and Tencent.
They have. That's right.
So it's like they've joined forces.
It is one of the rare instances where they've seemingly teamed up.
Seemingly.
But even here, the dynamics are complex.
Right. It makes you wonder, are they truly aligned
That's the question.
in their vision for GoTo?
Right.
Or are they just biding their time waiting to assert their dominance?
It's a strategic dance for sure. And the stakes are high. Whoever captures that Southeast Asian market, they're going to be in a very powerful position.
Right. They could shape the whole digital economy of the region.
Exactly.
Okay, so all this is really exciting.
It is.
But I also wonder about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
As these Chinese tech companies expand, are they facing any pushback?
They are. There's definitely growing scrutiny,
Okay.
especially in Western markets.
What kind of scrutiny?
Well, there are concerns about data privacy,
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
national security, and fair competition.
Right.
Some governments are worried about the influence these companies might have.
I mean, we've seen this play out with TikTok, right?
Exactly. TikTok's a prime example.
So navigating these political and regulatory hurdles,
Yeah, that's going to be a big challenge moving forward.
it's a tightrope walk.
It is They need to be sensitive to those concerns,
Mm.
but at the same time, they want to pursue their goals aggressively.
It's a tough balance.
It is.
Okay, so beyond the political stuff,
Yeah.
what about the cultural challenges?
No, that's another big one.
Can they adapt their products and services
Right.
to succeed in markets that have very different cultural norms and preferences?
That's a key question. It's not just about exporting their existing models.
Right.
They need to really understand those nuances, tailor their offerings,
Right.
maybe even partner with local players.
So it's not just bringing Chinese tech to the world.
No, it's about integrating it in a way that makes sense locally.
It has to resonate with consumers.
Exactly.
The companies that can bridge that cultural gap, they're going to have a big advantage.
Absolutely.
It's fascinating to think about how this will all play out long term.
It is.
Will these Chinese tech giants reshape the global landscape?
They're certainly on track to become even more influential.
It seems like it.
Their ambitions are huge, they've got the resources, and they're not afraid to take risks.
They're playing to win.
They are.
Yeah.
But remember Hailu Mao's research.
Right.
It doesn't offer predictions, just analysis.
True. But it's given us a lot to think about.
It has.
We've talked about their investment strategies,
Yeah.
competitive dynamics, the role of governments,
Right.
the challenges of expanding globally,
Lots to unpack.
and we've just scratched the surface.
We have.
But before we go any further, I think it's time to address the elephant in the room.
Ah, yes, the big question.
What does all this mean for the average person?
Right? Will we all be using WeChat and shopping on Alibaba soon?
Is this the dawn of Chinese tech dominance?
Those are the questions everyone's asking.
They are.
And honestly, the answers are still unfolding.
That's true.
But it's something we all need to be paying attention to.
Absolutely. This isn't just some niche tech story.
No, it's not.
This is about the future.
It is. The rise of these Chinese tech giants has implications for all of us.
Yeah, it'll affect the technologies we use,
Absolutely.
the choices we have as consumers,
Right.
even the geopolitical balance of power.
It's much bigger than just business and economics.
It's about the future of our world.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations,
I agree.
to be informed, to engage with these issues critically.
We can't just be passive consumers.
No, we need to be active citizens shaping the future of technology,
I love that, shaping the future of technology.
rather than letting it shape us.
That's a powerful message and a call to action.
It is.
Okay, so what can we do? What practical steps can we take?
Well, for starters, we can educate ourselves,
Okay.
learn about the technologies we use,
Right.
understand how they work, be aware of their potential impact.
Makes sense.
We can also support organizations like DigiSilk.
Yeah, they're doing important research.
They are.
And of course, we can use our voices.
Absolutely.
Speak up, express our concerns,
Right.
advocate for policies that promote ethical and responsible innovation.
That's a great point. We have more power than we realize.
We do as consumers, as citizens, as members of this global community.
Right. Our choices matter. Our actions matter.
They really do.
And remember, this isn't about demonizing technology
Right.
or rejecting progress.
Oh.
It's about being mindful, being critical, and being proactive.
I like that.
It's about making sure that technology serves us,
Yes.
not the other way around.
Well said. This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
Eye-opening, thought-provoking, and ultimately empowering.
I agree.
It's reminded me that the future of technology
Mm-hmm.
isn't set in stone. We all have a role to play in shaping it.
Exactly. And I think that's a hopeful message.
It is.
The future is ours to create.
Thank you for guiding us through this complex and fascinating landscape.
It's been my pleasure.
It really has.
And to our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Keep learning.
and keep shaping the future of technology until next time.
So we've been on this journey,
We have.
exploring the world of Chinese tech giants and their global ambitions.
It's been a wild ride.
It really has. And it's clear they're not messing around.
No, they're not.
They're aiming for the top.
Global domination.
Exactly. And they're coming in strong.
They
They've got the technology, the strategies, and the drive.
and the resources.
Oh, yeah, tons of resources. But as we've been talking about,
Right.
this global expansion, it's not a cakewalk.
No, it's not.
There are challenges,
Definitely.
political, regulatory, cultural.
All of the above.
It's not just about conquering new markets.
Yeah.
It's about understanding them,
Mm-hmm.
adapting to them,
Absolutely.
building trust with consumers and governments.
It's a delicate balance.
It really is. And that brings us back to Hailu Mao's research.
And the DigiSilk project.
Yeah, which has been so helpful in framing our discussion.
It has.
His analysis, it really shines a light
It does.
on the forces at play here and the potential implications of this global tech shift.
Lots of moving parts.
There are, and speaking of implications, we've touched on this throughout our conversation, but it's worth repeating.
Okay.
This isn't just about which companies win.
Right. It's bigger than that.
Or who has the coolest gadgets.
It's about the impact on our world.
Exactly how technology is shaping our economies, our societies, even our individual lives.
It's about the big picture.
It is the rise of these Chinese tech giants. It's part of a much larger trend.
What's that?
This increasing interconnectedness of our world.
Globalization.
And the growing influence of technology.
On everything.
And this trend, it raises some fundamental questions.
Like what?
About power control and the future of our digital society.
Oh, yeah. Those are the big ones.
Questions like who controls the data?
That's a big one.
Who sets the rules? Who benefits from all of this?
Those are questions we can't ignore.
We can't, and that's why these conversations are so important.
Yeah,
we need to be informed.
Absolutely.
We need to be engaged.
Right.
And we need to ask those tough questions.
About the role of technology in our lives.
Right. We can't just be passive consumers.
No.
We need to be active citizens.
Shaping the future.
Shaping the future of technology.
Instead of letting it shape us.
I love that phrase. That's powerful.
It is.
It's a call to action for all of us.
It is.
So what can we do? What are some practical steps?
Well, first of all, we can educate ourselves.
Okay.
Learn about the technologies we use.
Right.
Understand how they work and their potential impact.
That makes sense.
We can also support organizations like DigiSilk, who are doing this important research and analysis.
Right.
And of course, we can use our voices.
We can speak up.
We can express our concerns.
Advocate for policies that promote ethical and responsible innovation.
Exactly. We have more power than we realize.
We do as consumers, as citizens, as members of this global community.
Our choices matter. Our actions have consequences.
They really do. And remember, this isn't about demonizing technology
or
rejecting progress.
No, it's not about that.
It's about being mindful, being critical, and being proactive.
Thinking for ourselves.
Yes, making sure that technology serves us.
Not the other way around.
Well said. This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
Eye-opening, thought-provoking, and ultimately empowering.
I agree.
It's reminded me that the future of technology, it's not set in stone.
No, it's not.
We all have a role to play in shaping it.
And that's a hopeful message.
The future is ours to create.
It is.
Thank you so much for guiding us through this complex and fascinating landscape.
It's been my pleasure.
It really has been an incredible journey.
To our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep shaping the future of technology until next time.